Happy rising. Welcome to Gari Talks. I'm Gary. Today I wanted to talk about hard choices. So I had a conversation with a friend yesterday about a situation they're going through with their person, one of their peoples. And the person is struggling with loss of their own things, and just really, the way I'm feeling about it is just like shifting into a new personality and this new persona and letting go of your identity and who you were. And I was thinking, I told my friend yesterday, like, a big lesson in this lifetime for me, I have all these feelings, I have a lot of understanding and empathy, and my biggest lesson is compassion. Not that I don't feel it, because I feel compassion for people, and how it comes out because I feel very strongly is often seemingly like angry, or like that's how I used to be. Now I laugh more, and also just like hold space a little, just be quiet more and put aside whatever I'm feeling. But I've realized the reason I feel or discompassionate or like frustrated is when somebody is making the willful choice of allowing their emotions and feelings to rule their existence. And I think it hits so hard because that's where I was for so long. That's who I was for so long. Just a bag of emotions and feelings. Just everything hurt. The world hurt. The world was awful. I've mentioned like awakening in the past, and I'm going to make a longer video, I suppose, and I'll mention it here, but just to say I'll make a longer video about my whole college experience. But the main lessons the main tenets, I suppose, I'm trying to take from this awakening, I mean that I really learned about the world in college. I had, like, before applying to college, I didn't really talk about being black. I lived with my mom growing up. She is Taiwanese, light, white skin. I am this color. I was darker when I was little. My brother is half German and half Taiwanese, half Italian as well, or German, Italian, and Taiwanese. None of this half stuff. It's funny because he's actually struggling with fractions. We're going to talk about that tonight. So that's funny. So growing up, my brother's 8, so he wasn't part of me growing up. But why did I bring up my mom just now? Oh yeah, growing up with her, I grew up with a lot of Asian influence. I speak Mandarin. I went out with her friends to like eat. We spoke Mandarin in the house. Like, she's all I saw. When I went to Taiwan, like, I would be surrounded by Taiwanese people, be the only black person there. So blackness wasn't really part of my identity in a way that I was conscious of until college, when I was applying and having to put down, like, they were like, pick your race, and I was like, I mean, Asian, I'm not just Asian. And then they'd be like, pick one, I'd be like, other, I guess. And so they started making this mixed box race, which is nice. I'm glad they did that. Such long sidetracks to get to the point, but that is part of the journey. My point in saying coming to college, my world was rocked being black was something that was new to me, and then it was just being walloped. And it wasn't so much new because in high school I had gone to SDLC, Student Diversity Leadership Conference, an annual conference where students from around the country come together in different places. It's like a conference convention, to talk about diversity. And that's where I learned about diversity in ways other than just race and ethnicity. Like, gender was the first, and this was in like 10th grade, the first time I learned about gender versus sexuality and sex being different things, religion, nationality. Those are all things that, count as people as being different. And anytime that somebody's different, it's like a diversity. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And learning to have conversations around that. So I started having that awareness, and I was annoyed with white people in high school for sure. And there were like 5 black kids in my upper school. No, like in my, like, for a while in my grade, a class of 50 girls. So I feel like I was outnumbered in a way that, and I wasn't upset because a lot of my friends were white, and like we were all learning together, and it wasn't, and I really genuinely liked my friends, and they were also our school was very, I don't feel like saying the word political, but very conscious and very active in talking about issues and having dialogues and conversations and events and people going places to do things and people's families being involved in things. Police reported ahead. Oh, thank you. And going to college, I guess I started meeting different kinds of people, obviously, and with a different level of awareness, and meeting other people in my community and tribe at the time who also felt very strongly and uncomfortable about these things, and we were tired and angry, and the awakening was long and hard. This is my first time talking about this since all of that, so thank you for listening. I will speak more on that. That's all I want to say about that today. It was a very jarring experience to first come into understanding what it means to be black, and then Eric Gardner. And I remember that had changed my entire life. And also learning at that time too, learning about psychic things, starting to understand the world beyond the 3D, and being like, what is it? Am I going crazy right now? And nobody around me directly knowing how to support me, really, because nobody knew what was going on. Me too. And it's taken me that was what, let's say if we're talking sophomore year of college, that was like 2013 to 2014. Till now, that's like 7 years. And so to turn around and be upset with somebody for not understanding a journey or a lesson or whatever they're supposed to learn doesn't really make sense. And I'm learning that. And that's what that journey was with the story. Thank you. Thank you. Because it's arduous. Like, I've been through so many iterations of myself. And making the choices to be a different self, that is challenging. The very nature of the statement I am is stating what something is, which is defining it against what it's not too. Because it just is, but it's like, I don't want to say fighting. It's just like being itself. And being itself is also part of the one expression, but it's also an expression. And so you have to just be, flexible. It's been very helpful for me to become so much more flexible in my understanding of myself, in my understanding of what I'm capable of, in my understanding of what is good and bad for me, in my understanding of what is good and bad, period, in diving deep and trying to understand the world and myself better, asking questions, asking other people questions. And like not just hearing it and being like, oh wow, but really like letting it sink in, letting it mean something to you, letting it mean something to you. Does that sound like let it mean something to you? Weird gerundive from that. Let it mean something to you. Imperatives. So that's what I'm feeling today. I trust that everyone will have a fantastic day filled with fantastic choices that lead them to their joy and their bliss and delight in your learning and your passion. And did I say joy because you're joy? Have a great day.